Hello, Path Leaders, my friends. This is Lady Treasure. Can we talk for a little bit? I'm going to tell you why I call you Path Leaders. Path stands for parents, academic leaders, teachers, homeschoolers, and it would include babysitters, nannies, auntie, uncles, grandma, anyone who spends a significant part of any day or week with children, especially children under the age of 16. We all need some help. And I just thought I would share my experience as a mom, as a grandmother, and now, just recently, this past November 2025, I became a great-grandmother. And no, let me get that right. It was December, but it was, Thanksgiving and into December we were waiting. So I'm excited that I've come to that threshold. It isn't about the age number anymore for me. It's about the life lived. And I wanted you to know my goal for this. For the channel, Penny Lane, why I call it Penny Lane, is just a nostalgic name for the street I grew up on in Ogden, Utah. It was actually Wall Avenue. But my favorite aunt of my 12 uncle and aunts, my grandma had 12 children, was Aunt Penny. So I love the name Penny Lane, and that's how I named my company, which is a family edutainment company. Okay, that little bit about me, I just want you to know. And so I have 8 YouTube channels that explore different things that I want to share with children in different niches. And if you put them all on one channel, the algorithm does not really flow with that. So that's why I did them separately. But I'm not really here to talk to you about the channel. I'm here to talk to you about raising happy children. And I want to tell you a little bit more about me real quick so you know why I think I have the nerve to come on here and approach you with this subject. And I'm going to do it in 20 takes. So this is a marathon. I'm literally ready to go. Got my water. I've got my notes. I'm all prepared to just talk to you. And when I say real talk, I really mean real talk. Now, a little background on me. I have been married 3 times, and it took the third one to make a wonderful life for me. I was married too young, had 5 children in that first marriage, the greatest thing that ever happened. Precious, Angel, Ricky, Joshua, Candace, now all in their mid to late 40s, and they all have given me 15 grandchildren. I have some second coming to my heart, only second because I met them later and they weren't born in my body, grandchildren because of my husband's grandchildren. So we actually come to a count of about 25, but I don't see them. They're far away and I don't interact with them. I just count them in my heart. So I got married young and I had children young, and I struggled and did all the wrong things that a lot of us do when we're parents. And that handbook, if someone gave us one, never covered it all. And I just learned by the grace of God and a whole lot of help of their grandparents. But I had a natural gift for children. That, I have to say, has always been a thing. At 17, my first job was in a daycare, and the daycare director was one of the first people outside of my mother to tell me about that gift. And she put me in a classroom. We didn't really call them classrooms, but she put me in the 2-year-old room and then promoted me up to the 4-year-old room because I had a natural way of engaging children who normally might misbehave or have very slow desire or no desire to be still. And no one taught me how to do that. I just knew to engage a child, truly engage them, would keep them seated and happy. And I did that through a lot of silliness and through a lot of songwriting, using their name, their favorite color. I find if you just make everything about them every moment, even if you got 5 or 10 of them in the room, they will keep their eyes right on you. So I learned that early. And then I had 5 children, and I had a very hard, struggling first marriage, and my second marriage was a struggle. So I come to you not from a fake place. I'm not the lady who was, to leave it to Beaver home and everything was perfect and all the money in the world and the perfect home and marriage. No, but I still had to be a mom. So I know a little bit of something about different ways of dealing with different things while you're being a parent. So I want to share. Now, let me tell you why I'm doing it. I'm 68 years old. August 11th is my birthday. This is right now, July the 10th or 11th. I'm not really sure. I didn't look at the calendar right before I came on. But I am very serious these days about leaving a legacy, and anything that might qualify as evergreen, meaning the subject doesn't age, is something I want to be about. And since I've been in ministry for more than 40 years and been married so many times, and I have so many children and grandchildren, and now my first great-grandchild, I have some experiences. I've traveled all over the world. I live in France right now because my husband retired from the military, then retired from teaching, and this is what he wanted to do. I'm not retired. I didn't have the career life he had. I had married life, children, and a whole lot of ministry, and then I wanted to get my children's books done and do YouTube channels, not for retirement, for my family edutainment business, keep it going. I would do it in person with a small group here, there, school, private school, public school, church, homeschool, vacation Bible school. But I was never still long enough to get one brick and mortar building and build a playhouse. So that's who I am. So my goal here is to do what I used to do with parents and children in person. Help the parents, love on and inspire the children. And then it created a community and a trust that worked very well for me for now 51 years. So enough about why I'm here and who I am. Let's actually talk about this subject. One subject at a time. In 20 Real Talk sessions, I want to talk about raising happy children. The very, very first one that we've got to cover, that all-important word, love. Loving them first covers more, I think, than most people know. I think we come at parenting from the standpoint of however we were raised sometimes at first. And by that, I mean sometimes we do exactly what our parents did or exactly the opposite, depending on our experience. But I don't care what your experience is, every child needs love. And love can be demonstrated in many ways. It isn't always about being touchy-feely, if that's something that makes you uncomfortable. Every child does need affection. That's important, but they can know they're loved if you are not touchy-feely by some particular ways that I want to point out to you in our Real Talk sessions. I'm trying to leave a legacy here. If you never join my Penny Lane community and come and see what I'm working on, I've always got a children's book. That's Treasure Lee Taylor's my pen name, and I hate this cover. I'm working on that. I'm always working on something I'll share with you, but I want to have real conversations with you. And when I say conversation, I mean I want to share how I feel, my experience, and then I want to listen to you. Through your comments, I can do that. And if you're willing, sometime I would invite you to come on online with me when I'm live, and we can talk that way or through email. But I want to talk to you because it's important to know that what your parents did right or wrong, both can help you. What they did right, obviously, share that with your children. What they did wrong, learn from it. Don't be bitter. Forgive them. That bitterness kind of is sticky. It'll stay with you, and without knowing it, you'll be spreading it into your relationship with your children. So you don't want to do that. So you want to be whole to start with. So how do you really love children? Make sure you are confident in the fact that you are loved first. You got to feel this thing, know this thing. By your husband, your wife, if I'm talking to men, through other close friends, if you have parents alive still, try to get that love cultivated. If you already have it, just let that feeling be a real thing. Children feel that. It's much more about what they feel than what you say. So you can say I love you, but they'll more likely remember what you do to show love. And affection is important. If you can't do a lot of it, do the part you can do. Touch, pat, hug, hold, and say I love you. But if you have limitations, work on it in increments. Build up on your own skills to communicate love. I've heard said in daycare settings many times, safety first. But I don't agree. Safety is very important, but love is first. Children have to know their love. Loving them is how you can most make them feel safe. They get a sense of their own worth when they know they're loved. Being sure that somebody loves them makes them feel special, protected, important. And that's really a big deal. How in the world do you think I walked into a strange situation in a library for a book signing or something I was doing, because I'd written a little book and a handful of people. That's really all it's been. I'm not famous or anything, but I love my children. I always say my hit song, because I'm a songwriter too, is the song that hits the heart. And that's enough for me. I'd like to pay some bills, so it'd be great if a whole lot of songs sold, but it's enough for me if it hits the heart. Same thing with a best-selling book. I really want to know that I've reached child or children. So that's where I'm going. And I'm doing the same thing with you, path leaders, my friends. I want to reach you with this. If you know how to love, I'm rambling. You don't need this part. But you need to know how important it is what you have been doing sacrificially, demonstratively. It reads deep down into their soul and it makes them more whole. Oh, if I don't say anything else, please hear that. There is a wholeness, a safety, a security, starts to build their character more ways than you could ever know. I am not a psychologist. I am not a child specialist that, I went to college and they told me all the things I needed to know about child rearing. I am just a 51-year experienced woman, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, at successfully participating. Don't think I'm going to say I'm entirely responsible for the 5 happy adult children I now have, because they really are very well off inwardly and outwardly. But that was a whole lot of God and a whole lot of community, and we'll get into that more later. But they knew every day of their life, as they know now, Mom loves me, and I'll speak for their dad as well. We didn't get along. We didn't make a good marriage, but we loved our children. And our children knew it then, and they know it now. And it helped to make them confident. Now, to be honest, we had an abusive relationship. I said we're going to have real talk. And in case that's your experience as well, I want to just sidle up side of you and say, hey, not ideal, difficult for sure, but doesn't mean you now can't love. Somebody loved you. If your parents didn't know how to show it, if your husband or wife didn't know how to show it, somebody loved you. And somewhere along the way, you experienced the beautiful peace that comes from being accepted. Love makes you feel accepted. Let's review this. Confidence comes, security, safety, acceptance, character starts to grow. They're just good to go. Oh, there's lots of other things they still need to experience and learn, and you've got to participate in those other things with them. But nothing will top this all-important subject. Make sure your children know. You can do it verbally, you can do it by touch, you can do it with gifts and surprises, you can do it with a smile, you can do it with just the way you talk about them, the way you beam and make a big deal over everything they do. The real talk you give them when they're doing something wrong, that's love as well. So we can talk more about this subject as we cover other subjects, but I want to keep each of these talks to a certain time limit. So I'm going to wrap it up with this. Even if you are not sure that you are confident in displaying love, go do whatever you can to equip yourself to do it. Here's a little hint. Find out how you really feel about yourself and be honest. Do you need a little more love yourself? Do you need a little more security or a lot more yourself? You can't give the kids what you don't have. So be more confident. Love yourself. Find the tools however you think best to find them. I advise people to go to God, but I'm not a religious person. I don't think that if you don't believe in God, I shouldn't talk to you. You don't have to have a faith-based understanding to understand the idea of love. I would just suggest it's easier, but I'm not about being religious here. The humanity of all of us depends on each of us accepting and loving one another, and especially our children. I want to thank you for being with me for this Real Talk number 1, Love First. Till next time, I'll be right here waiting to see you and meet with you again on Penny Lane.